Shalom, Yahweh Shem Brakatah.
Hold on. I can't hear you. Hold on. Say something. Could you hear me?
Now can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
No, you can't hear me now?
Valmar, say something.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear me. I can't hear you.
Try going out back here.
What about now? Say something. Shalom, Lord in Christ. Could you hear me?
Shalom, Lord of Christ. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. God, I can hear you now. I think I had my volume down on the computer.
Okay. Okay.
You're a little staticky, though.
Salaki, hold on.
Yeah, you're a little staticky.
That's 1, 2.
Yeah, you're still staticky. Every time you talk. Well, I don't know what that's about. That's it's crazy. All right. You all set? All right. Okay, I'm about to start class. All right. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahshabarakathum. Yahweh Shema Alatham Bashem Yahushai. I'm priest and officer Kura Ya'ala out of ISUPK under Commanding General Yahana. And this is ISUPK Connecticut, one of the schools under Commanding General Yahana. And we're out here every day teaching the word and bringing Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians back to the Most High and trying to fix our people that are on drugs, that are homeless, that are feeling the weight and feeling the pressures of oppression every day, from poverty to drug use to struggling with being violated homosexuality and being molested, all the things that our people go through that this wicked world have done to us and that have taken advantage of us. I should be the Commanding General Yohana. We're out here to fix our people that have been destroyed physically, mentally, and emotionally. Today we're going to get into endurance, because endurance shall keep you stable in this wicked kingdom that we call America, that we call Esau, or our oppressor's world. When we say our oppressor, we mean all these other nations that are not of the Lord, that have had us in captivity, physically and mentally. Our oppressor is what we call today as the so-called white man. And when we say that that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, it's not because of skin color. Because for one, if it was about skin color, he's not white. White is pure. White is what you see then in the background. And there's nobody walking around here looking like that. When we say they're the devil that the Bible speaks of, it's because of their character. It's because of how they conduct themselves. It's because of their spirit. They have an evil, wicked spirit. And a lot of our people have taken to that evil, wicked spirit. So understand that when you're trying to be righteous in a wicked kingdom, like the kingdom that we live in today, we have to fight those evil spirits, those demonic spirits that come up against us to throw us off track. We have to come up against fighting our lust, our fleshly desires, whether it be women, whether it be material things, physical things, tangible things, or or things that are not of spiritual, things that do not profit us, things that do not give us life. Like every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian should have a Bible, should be in the Bible. If they want to read and look at things, they should be reading and looking at the scriptures, because this is our records. These laws, statutes, and commandments is our way of living. These laws, statutes, and commandments is the book of life. It is the book that will give us life, everlasting life. These laws, statutes, and commandments is what keeps us civilized, keeps us in order, gives us principles, gives us character. These laws, statutes, and commandments is what the Lord wants us to follow, is what the Lord wants us to do. But when we're in a wicked society that goes against, contrary to what the Lord tells us not to do, it's rough, especially when you're not taught, especially when you're going through generations of Christianity, having Christianity pushed on you, having Islam pushed on you, having every other doctrine pushed on you other than the Bible, other than knowing who you are, knowing that you're an Israelite, knowing that we're the Lord's chosen. Because the Christian church, they deal with the Bible, but they don't teach the Bible. They teach around the importance of the Bible and what's needed. They even went as far as pulling out scriptures of the Bible. And the reason for that is because of their selfish gain. Because they're only worried about what's in your pocket, what's in your bank account. They're not worried about you dying, having life, being saved. They're only worried about how much money they can squeeze from you. So understand that we have a lot to deal with as a people. And when I say we, I'm talking about Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, the 12 tribes. The Lord's chosen. I'm not talking about the whole world, like what Christianity teaches us, that God, that that our King, our brother, had died for, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, which y'all know as Jesus. He didn't die for the whole world. He died for his people, which is the 12 tribes, all the way from the so-called Negroes, all the way down to the so-called Mexicans on the 12 tribe charts. Lord's not dealing with everybody. The Lord deals with his people. When he chastises his children. Who's his children? The 12 tribes. That's who he chastises. He don't care about these other nations. The only reason why these other nations are in the position they're in is because we disobeyed the Lord. If we've never disobeyed the Lord, they will never be in the position they're in right now. So drop that. Gabar Moth, you there?
Got one, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's still a little fuzzy every time you come on. I don't know.
I checked the stream. For the audience, I sound clear. It's only picking up somehow on the speaker that you're listening to.
Oh, the speaker. Hold on. Maybe I have to speak up too loud. Hold on. What about now?
Testing 1 2.
Say it again.
Testing 1 2.
Yeah, nah. I still hear fuzzy. It's just a low fuzzy.
All right.
There's a low fuzzy sound.
Yeah. To everybody else, I sound clear because
yeah, I think it's the fiber optics on your speaker. I don't know. Maybe you might have to upgrade it.
No, I sound clear. I went on to the stream, the YouTube and Facebook, and I sound clear on there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me see something.
Okay.
Say something now.
Okay. Testing 1 2.
Say something now.
Testing 1 2.
Yeah, still. I don't know what that is, man.
Yeah, it sounds strange.
That's strange because every time you talk, it comes out is static.
And you're using the internal speaker of the computer?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, because every time you say something, it's fuzzy. That's weird.
All right, you want me to hold off reading or?
Yeah. If you could read, when you get a chance, let me get Second Ezra's, 7 and 6.
Come on.
You're gonna read all the way down to 16 to 17. Excuse me. Let me know when you got it.
The book of I got it, sir. The book of the 7 and verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded. And set upon a broad field. And is full. Salakia, sir. There's also an echo. Do you hear an echo as well?
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I hear. It's like a reverb, like a static.
I don't know what that is. Let's see. Salakia, sir. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna check the stream on Facebook to see how it sounds there.
Yeah, no sweat. Just check that. And for the time being, let me shout out. I see a couple people on the chat. Okay. I see okay, officer just recently got raised up, Paratazar out of YO, Yonkers, New York. Shalom, Yabba Shemya Shabrakatha. I see Sister Labar. Shalom, shalom, Yahweh Shema Alatham Bashem Yashai, and Yapasha Yara, shalom, Yahweh Shema Alatham Bashem Yashai. Yeah, okay. We got a few people in the chat showing love. Just bear with us 1 second, a little technical difficulties. Hold on. So basically what we're going through in America today and throughout the world, Israel is just is part of the prophecies that's in the Bible. These are things that we're supposed to go through, especially when you look in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, where it breaks down the conditions of what we're going to go through, not following or following or not following these laws, statutes, and commandments. And it tells us what we will go through and what we have been through. And that description only describes blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians, because it don't describe the so-called the fake Jew out there, Jewish man. It don't affect Amalek, because they wasn't forced over here. They came over here by choice. They came over here on the love boat. You know? Even to this day, you think about it. They cramped us up on boats and shipped us over here. And while we over here, they cramped us up in projects still to live. So for a lot of us, there's generations of us being cramped up one another. When back in the days when we ruled this earth, we had land. We owned this earth. We ruled this earth. But that's what happens when you disobey the Lord. He brought us into the lowest state. And he showed us, just as much as he can give us things he can take away, just like any father would when a child disobeys him. And you're telling me the so-called the fake, the Jewish, what they call the Jewish man today, the fake Jew, Amalek, went through these conditions, and then they got the nerve to compare the Holocaust to slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, slavery in Haiti, slavery with the North American Indians, the slaughter of what was that, 77 million of our ancestors, the Gadites, women, men, women, children. You don't sit there and tell me that they want to compare that incident that happened with Hitler as opposed to what our ancestors have been through and what we're going through today? Not by a long shot. That's why they stay away from the New Testament. They don't want Revelations, the 2nd chapter, 9 verse, or Revelations 3 and 9, because that cuts them to shreds right there. Amongst other scriptures. But again, when we say our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, it's because of that. Because they have the whole world believing, thinking that's what that is. And that they are the Lord's chosen. And they're not. What they are is culture vultures. They're thieves. They've stole our heritage. And understand that when you get this knowledge and when you find out who you really are, when you find out that you're the Lord's chosen, and I'm only talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, you have to get this and endure to the end, because the whole world will come up against you. You think our own people don't come up against us when we tell them that we're the true Jews? We've been brainwashed so much, so long, into when you say that, our own people look at us like we got four heads on our shoulders. But when they say that, it's like, oh yeah, they are. They're Jewish. But we can't even believe our own heritage and our own culture because it's been beaten out of us for generations, for years. We're the only ones that don't have an identity. Salakia, Gabar Marv, you was able to fix that?
How do I sound now, sir?
It's still choppy.
Yeah.
You have speakers connected to yours? Huh?
Nah, it's using the computer itself.
Good night. That's
it's weird. I don't know what that is. It's weird. I don't know what that is.
That's weird. That's something ain't right. But let's just make do. Well, you know how we do.
Come on.
You know. Okay. Let me get when you're ready. You give me that scripture.
Come on, sir. I'm gonna see if I can read. Let me see if I can read the phone. Meanwhile, I'll read for you, sir.
Okay. I can't hear you.
Testing 1 2.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello?
Come on.
You there? Go ahead.
Does that sound choppy as well, sir?
It sounds choppy, kind.
All right, then I think I don't know what it is. All right.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
Book of Second Esdras 7. There's also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things.
Okay, there's another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. Read.
Kanawakan, verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow.
Keep going.
And is set in a dangerous place to fall. Like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water.
Keep going.
Kanawakan, verse 8. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water. So small that there could but one man go there at once.
Understand that when you keep going, Salaki, go, keep going. Leading up to
Kanawakan, verse 9. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before us, how shall he receive this inheritance?
keep going.
Verse 10. And I said, it is so. Lord. Then
Lord.
said he unto me, even
Then
so
said he unto
also
me,
is
even
Israel's
so
portion.
also is Israel's portion.
Yeah, so leading up to that from 6 to 10 is basically saying if you ain't go through nothing, if you ain't go through adversity, if you ain't go through, if you haven't had, and I'm gonna use this analogy, if you haven't had fire lit to that behind, if you have not went through any trials and tribulations, you know, how would you be able to appreciate and enjoy your inheritance? If stuff is given to you, you're not going to appreciate it. And that scripture right there you could also use for with your kids. You got to have a sense of struggle. You got to have a sense of you know earning, a sense of going through things. You got to go through the negative to get to the positive. You got to know and see. And when I say that, I'm not necessarily saying you got to do negative things, but you got to experience and see for what it is. If you're sheltered and you don't know what it is, if you can't identify something being negative, if you can't identify a demon, Satan coming at you, Satan in front of you. If you can't recognize that and you're sheltered and you're always hid and somebody's always protecting you, you don't know what it is, then you're not going to know, you're not going to grow. You're not going to be able to acknowledge and go through what it is like that anybody that's been through that road will do, that have experienced. Like, I'm gonna use kids for instance. If you haven't been in a situation where you had to fend for yourself from small, you had to fend for yourself. When you get older and you've always been sheltered or you've been enabled, when it's time for you to fend for yourself, you're gonna be like a deer with the head with headlights coming at it. You're gonna be stuck. You're not gonna know what to do. When stuff is handed to you, you're not gonna know how to deal with it. You're not even gonna appreciate it. Go ahead, read.
Khan, verse 11. Because for their sake I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done.
Read that one again.
Verse 11. Because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done.
Yeah, because for their sakes, this is the Most High. He said, "I made the world," and understand that the world is the world is the world is a society or age, and the world they talking about is the Israelite world. It's the society of the 12 tribes. That's the world that we're talking about. With Adam transgressed the Lord's statutes. If anybody knows about the story of Adam and Eve, you know that Adam then fell weak for Eve. And because of that is why we are here today. Because of that is why women feel brolic. Women feel like they can come up and look down on men because they've partnered up. And this is our women, especially today, have partnered up with our enemy, with our oppressor, to put the black man down, to put the Hispanic man down, Native Indian man down. I'm not saying all, but a good majority of our women, because we still have good women out here. We still have women out here that will serve their man, especially the sisters in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, will serve their man. They have women out there that's not quite yet in the truth. They need to be in this truth, but the sisters in the ISUPK, they're not those women. Read.
Colonel Khan, verse
12.
12. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of peril, and very painful.
13.
Colonel Khan, verse 13. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit.
Keep going.
Verse 14. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them.
Keep going.
Now therefore, why disquietest thou thyself? Seeing thou art but a corruptible man. And why art thou moved? Whereas thou art but mortal.
Go ahead, read 16.
Why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present?
And 17.
Then answered I and said, O Most High, that bearest rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish.
Read 18.
Colonel Khan, verse 18. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for wise. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wise.
Read 19.
Colonel Khan, verse 19. And he said unto me, there is no judge above the power, and none that hath understanding above the highest.
Okay, so basically, the Most High has understand that you have to come through this truth, the straight gate. You have to endure to the end. You have to be 10 toes down. Let me get Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. You have to come into this truth. You have to fight, and you have to go through the furnace of affliction, because if you don't understand that, you have to worry about if the Most High is working with you, because like any father, true love is when you get chastised, that means the Most High cares about you. When you get corrected, that means your father loves you. What you need to worry about is when you're going through and you don't get checked, you don't get dealt with, you don't get checked. You have to really, you have to sit there and wonder. You have to sit there and you should worry when you don't get checked, when things happen, and you know, like when things happen, like if you do something and you don't get checked and you don't get chastised for it, yeah, real honestly, you should really be worried, because that means the Most High. I mean, you don't know. I can't tell you what the Most High is thinking or doing, but that means the Most High ain't really dealing with you, because the scriptures tell you that the Most High chastises the one that He loves. Let me know when you get that scripture.
I have it, sir. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the powers and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
Yeah, understand that. Let us hear the conclusion of a whole matter. So understand that if something's going on, if there's an issue, you got to get all your facts. Before you can come to a conclusion, you have to get everything. That's where we have councils. This is where councils is very important for us as a people. It helps us grow. It helps us get off and not hold animosity towards one another. That's why with counsels, you will grow spiritually in this truth. Everybody, like the generals have brought up numerous times in their classes, that we need counsels, because that's gonna prevent strife, animosity towards one another. It's gonna alleviate and get rid of a lot of demons that are on brothers and sisters. If you hold stuff in, that's a demon. Because now, if a brother or sister offend you, instead of you just going to him and him alone and trying to deal with it, and then if they don't want to hear it, taking it to counsel, a lot of us tend to brush it off. And then what happens is it builds up. It's layers until, until you can't go no more. There's an old saying, pressure bust pipes. You can only clog a pipe but so long, because of buildup, constant buildup, eventually the pipe is going to bust. And then it's going to be messy. So understand that when there's a matter, like it says, to hear the conclusion of a whole matter, understand that we have to fear the powers, the Most High, and keep the commandments. That's the whole duty of man. We have to fear the Lord and keep the commandments. That's our job as Israelites, as priests and prophets, to teach our people to fear the Lord and keep his commandments, because that's the duty of man, like it says in Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. That's the job of the priests and prophets. That wraps up our job in a nutshell. To teach our people to fear the Lord, to love our brothers and our sisters, and to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. It's as easy as they would say, as pie. But for our people, it's so difficult. It's so damn difficult. It's so damn difficult to stop eating shrimp, crab, pork, lobster. It's difficult to not wanting to kill your brother. It's so difficult to not want to sleep with your brother's wife to commit adultery. It's so difficult to not make a whore of your sisters or the daughters of Zion. It's so difficult to not to leave weed alone, to leave drugs alone. It's so difficult to not be a homosexual. The stuff I'm naming, these are abominations to the Lord. These are things that the Lord don't want us doing. These are things that our oppressors have, is their way of life, is their culture that a lot of our people have taken on. The fact of molesting children, the fact of raping children. And when I say children, I'm talking about the male children and the women children and the females. These are characteristics that our people have taken on and that have destroyed our people. Because understand that those children that was molested eventually turns up to be adults. And it could go either way. A lot of times they could often grow up doing the same to somebody else that is young. Like I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but like the incident that's going on with with Polite. You know, these are alleged allegations, but there's court records. Usually when there's court records, you know, I'm not gonna get all deep into it because the case is still going on. I'll let you know, I'm not gonna get into it, but basically, if that is the case with him, it's situations like this. If the story is what it is that's out there, which to me, the way it sounds like it is. This is a problem in our community because a lot of that goes on. A lot of stuff gets swept under the rug. A lot of our people don't like to deal with it. Like General Muhammad always says, you don't run from the problem, you run towards it. A lot of our people don't like addressing a lot of issues out there. A lot of our people get taken advantage of, especially a lot of our women and children. Especially in the Christian church, in the Muslim mosque, in the Egyptology, whatever, pyramid or whatever they dealing with, whatever building they in, you know? A lot of our people get taken advantage of because a lot of our people are looking for ways out of this oppression. A lot of our people are looking for answers. And you know, the sad thing with a lot of our people, especially today, is that ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana has been around since 1969. We've been in these streets since 1969 to today. And a lot of our people have walked past a camp, especially now that we've grown and growing and growing more and more. A lot of our people walk by and don't want to hear the word. But the answers is right there on the corners. When you see any men, ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana, the answers is there. Problems can get fixed. It's just you have to be willing. First of all, you have to identify that you do have a problem. You know? You have to identify that. You have to identify that, at the end of the day, that the problem that the answers is there. Our black leaders is there. Commander General Yohana is there. So our people can't say that there's no black leaders out here because we have Commander General Yohana. As you became the Commander General Yohana. And a lot of our people reject that because it's pride. Pride won't allow them to accept it. That demon in them won't allow them to accept it because that demon is still pushing them and telling them that they can still fulfill their lust, whatever it is, without having to do the right thing. Okay, let me drop that. Let me get Mark 4:16. Cabal Moth.
Come on.
You can hear me?
Come on.
Okay, no doubt. All right. We got priest and officer Gabar Moth out here in Connecticut, rolling strong, doing his thing.
So like I want
Mark
4 and Mark 4 and 18. You said 18. You said
no. You know what? Drop that. Let me get I'm sorry. Let me get Proverbs 3:11.
Come on. The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Most High. Neither be weary of his correction.
My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord. Neither be weary of his correction. Go ahead. 12.
Verse 12. For whom the Most High loveth, he correcteth, even as a father, the son in whom he delighteth.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying earlier. Do not despise when the Lord has chastised you. Understand, you should delight in that. You should embrace that because that means the Most High cares about you. That means the Lord cares about you. When you don't get chastised, when you're rolling around here and you think you're dipping and dodging, you're missing camp, you could be at camp, you could do things to help build this nation, but you choose not to because you don't feel like it. A lot of times when you get checked by Akim, that's the Lord. That's not the brothers, because if it was up to man wouldn't care. Man would just go about his business and say, oh, well, you don't want to do it, oh, well. But when you get checked, that's the Lord. That's the Lord saying, you know what? That's the Lord saying he feels like you're worthy and you're worthy of correction because he sees something in you. And me as well. When I say you, I'm talking about all of us. When we get checked. And understand, it's just like a father correcting his son. If you don't care about your child, you're just going to let them do whatever because you could care less. You could care what happens to them. You could care less what happens to them, how they rolling, what they doing. That's somebody that don't love their child. When you love your child, you're going to correct the hell out of them. You're going to make sure they doing the right thing. Or you're going to light that fire to that ass, Excuse my French. All right? You could drop that. Let me get Hebrews 12:4.
Come on. The book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 4. We have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin.
You know what? Go to 3. I'm sorry, Salakia. Go to 3.
Come. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 3. For consider him that endureth such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds.
Uh-huh. Keep going.
Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin.
Go to 5.
Verse 5, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him.
6.
For whom the Lord loveth, he chastiseth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
For whom the Most High loveth, he chastises, and scourged every son whom he receiveth. Understand that the Lord, again, if he don't give a damn about you, he's gonna let you go. He's just gonna let you do your thing and just let you go astray and just let you, only the Lord knows what plans he got with you. But understand this and know this for a fact, that when you're getting the shit checked out of you, when you're being corrected, understand that that's the Lord. Don't get mad. Don't get offended. That's the Lord. That's love right there. That's brotherhood. When a brother checks you, when you get checked, that's of the Lord. Read 7.
Come, verse 7. If ye endure chastening, the powers dealeth with you as with sons.
If ye what?
Endure chastening.
If ye what?
Endure.
If ye endure chastening. Go ahead.
Powers dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is
Keep
he
going.
whom the Father chasteneth not?
Read 8.
Verse 8, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons.
Ye are bastards and not sons. Verse 8 pretty much lets you know the Lord look at you as a bastard and not a son. Understand that it takes a certain type of brother and sister to do this work and walk this walk that we do. And it takes another certain type of brother and sister to resist the evils of our oppression. Our oppressor, excuse me. Understand that when we are faced with adversities, when we are faced with all these different vices that are put in our face to take us off course, to sway us away from this truth, understand that it takes a certain type of person, a certain type of brother, a certain type of sister to say, damn that, I don't want to be a part of this. I love my people. I love my nation. I love the Lord. I fear the Lord, first and foremost. I love my brothers and sisters. I want to help build this nation. It takes a certain type of brother and sister to do that. Understand a great characteristic about that brother or sister is that they have the ability to fight. They have that ability to endure, because endurance shall keep you stable in this kingdom. That's my time, Israel. I'm Priest and Officer Kwaraya Allah out of ISUPK, Connecticut. I'm with Priest and Officer Gabar Moth out of ISUPK, Connecticut as well. This is our time. And I wanted to say, if you're on this video or you watch this video, subscribe to ISUPK Connecticut. For Facebook is UPK Connecticut Israelites. Follow us on social media. Go on isupk.com if you can't find it. And if you need any counsel, the information is under the screen right here. You call for class information or counsel, 203-548-0040. That's my time, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom.